that permit over on the cafe side, but to be able to do that over here and have the liquor license in addition to that, you have to serve a wider array of offerings, basically. Right. And just really quick back on this 500-foot area and the letters that we sent out. Does anybody that's here live within 500 feet not feel like they didn't get one? Okay, so that's good to know, and I can talk with you guys afterwards. At least check the addresses that we had so we can double check the copies.
Yeah, that sounds good. So the ABC, that was the process we went through with them. And it was a little earlier in the process. Nobody had any comments, and they just said, but there's still a bunch of requirements that needed to be handled from the county side. And so we started talking to the county at that point. We put an application in based on talking with the ABC around what were the different places that would make sense and be up, according to the code. And then they sent it out publicly to all the Sonoma County departments. And I believe that proposal was actually forwarded, and I saw it in some like random email lists of people from the area. But the only people that responded to that comment was the fire. So Sonoma County Fire basically said that if you are going to have people consume beer and wine in this big space of the movie theater, like the room that we're in right now, it basically makes it become a different kind of entity. It goes from an A1 to an A2 occupancy. So that basically triggers the requirement to have essentially, imagine fire sprinklers everywhere. For some reason, alcohol they perceive as like a higher fire risk. What are you going to ask?
I was just curious, besides for the fire, I guess they signed you up. This old fence, I guess this crystal.
Right.
And that was signed off by the fire?
Yeah, Steve's here. Steve Dackman was there during the.
Just to let you know, when they first put it up, we had to do tests with it to see if it would burn or not. And they got approval by the county fire marshal to put it up that it was fire resistant.
What about mold?
Who knows?
What about that?
I mean, look, yeah, it's disgusting. It needs to be taken down. Hopefully it'll happen before this winter. That's our hope. It's a beautiful thing, and if you can find some artist person to like save it basically, artist restoration, we'd love to help that happen. But as it is now, it's pretty intense. So basically, the fire marshal came out. Roberta McIntyre, Steve Dackman, and I met with her to basically walk through and find out, are there any other solutions? Because basically, it's not possible to do a max, $30,000 or more. Maybe we'll do it, later, but not right now to be able to do all that sprinkler system. So instead, when I walk you guys out, I can talk you through this in more detail. The requirement is that, actually, go to the next slide, is that we basically have a firewall between the lobby and the theater space. Did you skip one? Yeah, because I wanted just to show that's basically, it's okay. Well, basically, essentially what it comes down to is the property. There's this space, and then there's basically the cafe space, which includes the patio, the outdoor patio with the fenced in, and then there's the lobby and the front patio. And so currently, before we made any application, there's a beer and wine license for just the cafe from morning until 3 p.m. basically. And then as soon as that time comes, no longer able to serve beer and wine. And so our intention with this first phase is to basically allow for the cafe to be able to sell beer and wine into happy hour and through dinner. That's what we intend to use for the cafe side. The theater side is not allowed to have anybody bring the beer and wine into the theater for now. We'll have to get that firewall in, and then basically in that front area, which includes the lobby and the front patio, that's where, basically in the afternoon when it's beautiful out in that front, it's a beautiful time of day to be out there, and before films, we would set up nice tables and stuff, and people will be able to buy beer and wine before or after films. They would not be able to come into the theater and consume it either in the lobby or out in that front area. Okay. One other thing I want to highlight here, and then basically phase 2, which we intend to do at some point, but it's unclear, we'll have to go through another process at that point, is to basically do the work to get up to fire code in this space here and allow for people to have a beer and wine during the film. The one thing I want to highlight, because I think there's been some misperception of the plans, there's nothing on here about the lawn. The lawn is not part of this proposal at all. So the lawn is staying exactly as it is now, which is that basically you can use it for normal things, and then if you do any events like what's happening today with Sonoma County Pride, you have to apply for a specific use permit for that day to have things like amplified a band or amplified music of any kind, like that's exactly the same as it has been. It's the same as moving forward. This proposal has nothing to do with the lawn. And the only outdoor portions that are relevant to this are the cafe side, right, on the patio, as well as that front patio. Go to the next slide. So the only other thing I wanted to